Hello and welcome to Money Control. You're watching Editor's Take. My name is Akriti Handa and today we have with us Ravi Krishnan, who's going to talk about the recent drone attacks on Saudi Arabia's biggest oil refinery and oil fields. Hi Ravi.
Hi.
So tell us, how big is the impact going to be of this drone attack?
See, the impact is pretty big. When Brent futures opened for trading today morning, they jumped $12 a barrel. I mean, we haven't seen anything like this since the Iraqis invaded Kuwait back in the 1990s. Saudi Arabia produces 9.8 million barrels per day, which is around 10% of supply. Because of these drone attacks, production capacity of around 5.7 million barrels per day has been disrupted. So that is 5% of global supply has been taken off the market. When this much supply is off the market, naturally prices will rise. Of course, prices have come down, after, Aramco officials said that some capacity will come back on track soon. But a protracted rise in prices, and if they remain at these high levels, this could tip the world economy into a slowdown.
All right. And how are the oil producers trying to mitigate the situation?
Well, the US and Saudi Arabia have already said that they will release their strategic reserves. Saudi Aramco, Saudi Arabia state oil producer, it has around 35 to 40 days of supply in its reserve. Saudi Arabia has some excess capacity which it can ramp up to increase refining. Similarly, Kuwait and the United Arab Emirates, they also have around 1 million barrels per day, which will, which they can deploy.
All right. And is the spike in oil prices only temporary?
No, it depends on a lot of factors. I wouldn't say it is temporary. See, one thing which this attack has outlined is that the Saudi oil, production, facilities, they are highly vulnerable to attack. I mean, Middle East is such a sensitive region in the first place. So if these kind of attacks can be carried out, that increases the risk premium on oil prices. Some analysts are saying $5 to $10 per barrel. You can just add on to the price. That is a political risk premium. Also, we need to remember one thing. Now, the US is blaming Iran for the attack. Now, if the US and Saudi Arabia, if they retaliate against Iran, that could lead to worsening tensions in the Middle Eastern region. Some analysts are in fact predicting that oil prices could go up to $100 a barrel.
And what is going to be the impact of this drone attack on India?
Well, obviously, India is a major oil producer. I think we import around 85% of our requirements. Now, Saudi Arabia is the second largest supplier to India. Now, I believe Reuters has reported just earlier in the day, quoting some unnamed Indian oil ministry officials, that Saudi Aramco has promised to keep supply lines intact. But that said, if oil prices rise more and more, that will obviously impact the current account deficit. I think for every dollar increase in oil prices, the import bill goes up by around 1.6 billion US dollars. Now, if that will also feed into inflation. If it feeds into inflation, then the RBI's efforts to sort of cut interest rates and stoke demand, I mean, that won't continue for long.
All right. Thank you for your insights, Ravi. This is it from us in this edition of Editor's Take. For more news, views and updates, stay logged on to moneycontrol.com.